Many artists and do-it-yourself record label owners want to create successful music promotion campaigns, but they don't really know the goal of music promotion. A lot of you all have misconceptions about the importance of streaming in the promotion process. Now, this problem causes the artist and the do-it-yourselfer to lose money and motivation within the promotional process. But if we actually focus on the true end goal, which is fans, and we get our mind wrapped around it, then we won't have so many issues when it comes to actually paying for music promotion. So let's talk about it coming up right here on the Music Money Makeover Show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. My name is Casey Graham. Let's hop right in. All right, so the average independent artist stream count goes like this. On average, artists with a small fan base or who have little notoriety are getting 1,000 streams or less every 90 days. Now, this leads me to believe that many of these artists have a laser focus on getting more streams because that converts to more fans. I can understand your positioning, okay? I'm not ruling you out. This could be further from the truth, though. As we progress, you'll see that listeners discover first and they stream second. That's the listener behavior. Discover first, stream second, because I got to find you, all right? And that's just what it is. And I'm not about to go stream you immediately. The only way I will stream you first is if I discover you actually on Spotify, which is not everybody, okay? Now, a focus on stream counts will always stop your drive dead in its tracks, mainly because most people are not, you have a lot of teenagers who are not driving, right? And they're going to be on social media more than Spotify. They're not in a cubicle where they need to discover new music while they're working. So they're not in any of these conditions, and they're not really working. Now, that's the youth population. Other people who have been listening to music for quite some time in their 30s and 40s are kind of set in their ways on a lot of music, and they will listen to new music on playlists, but it's not going to happen for everybody, okay? That's my soapbox on this. Now, getting fans and funding. Let's go a little bit deeper. I asked my viewers, I asked you all, what's the hardest thing about starting in the music biz? And you all responded by getting listeners and fans as your number one answer and finding funding as your number two answer. Now, these answers were neck and neck, okay? Getting listeners and fans has to deal with the promotion, and finding funding must be correlated, right? These two are difficult when you don't know the purpose of each. So why do you need the money and why do you want the fans? Let's open that can of worms. Now, what do you need the funding for? When I asked you all the question, the landslide answer was for music promotion. Okay, I got you. I agree music promotion is very expensive. And if you remember in previous videos, I said funding your career should be done with cash on the music side because its return is low. However, I was not prepared for the next response from you all, which was this. And it was, what do artists want to use the money for? Hear this out. Below were the top answers that you gave me. You wanted to use the money to increase streams. And then you wanted to sell merchandise, whether it be digital or physical. And then you wanted to increase the follower count. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of responses at the bottom of this video, so go ahead and start dropping them. The problem with this is many will decide to increase the streams through playlist promotion so they can feel good about their numbers. However, this is backwards because getting a listener is the end of the food chain for the majority of music discovery. It just is, but it's not the end of the food chain for the fan, okay? Now, we got to go through this, but I got one more piece to talk about this on. Now, most music discovery happens on social media, so your goal should be to increase your follower count first and then increase streams second and sell merchandise third. Merchandise should always be an end goal and never the first goal because merchandise is for the fan who has already discovered you. You should never spend money to promote merchandise to anyone except followers and fans. And if you are running ads, these are retargeted ads to actually get the people who are actually following you. Because everybody else who's not really following you is not going to really purchase something of yours. Like, I know about Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie. I'm not a fan of her. So I'm not going to buy anything of hers. So if I see an ad for her selling some of her merchandise, why would I care? That would be a waste of money to her team. So it doesn't make any sense there. All right. So the merchandise should always be advertised towards your actual fan base that you know you have secure. All right. Now, here's the life cycle of a fan, and this is going to correlate to what I'm saying back here. Now, artists are still blinded by vanity metrics. This is true, and trying to compete with major labels, hence why they want streams. All right. Because you see that's where the money is coming from. So, oh my God, I got to do it. But that's far, far, far from the truth. However, as an indie artist, your number one goal is customers and revenue, period. I'll say that again. As an indie artist, your number one goal is customers and revenue, period. What you are most concerned about is raising your conversion numbers to get scrollers on social media to stop, look at your video, follow you for more, cross over to Spotify and listen, or whatever their listening thing is or streaming service is, come back to social media to find out more about your story and to be entertained for quite some time. Then tell a friend, possibly, that's a side shoe to this, then buy a ticket or merchandise. So let me go through that again. What you are most concerned about is raising your conversion numbers to get scrollers on social media to stop, look at your video, follow you for more, cross over to Spotify and listen, and come back to social media to find out more about your story. Tell a friend maybe, but finally buy a ticket or merchandise. That is the cycle of the fan. The goal is to make this happen as quickly as possible by increasing the quality of the content and promotional materials that you produce, as well as the value that the consumer gets out of the content and promotional materials to make them ultimately purchase merchandise. Okay? And of course, once this fan has purchased once, chances are they will do it again if you give them an option to do so and if you keep them entertained constantly, because you're an entertainer. That's what you do. Why would you not entertain? It's just that a lot more can be done behind the camera, whether it be on other people's podcasts and platforms or your own. You get what I'm saying? But this is ultimately our goal here. And we haven't, and in this, I didn't say spend any money yet. And if you are spending money, it is to produce the actual promotional materials, which is the content, if you will. Now, this is what quiets the delusion. I ask my viewers, I ask y'all, music money makers, I ask you all, as a self-run record label owner, what is your biggest revenue category right now? Or where do you see yourself earning money the most, or the most money? And you said selling merchandise, streams, and live shows, in that order. Now, the landslide answer was to sell merchandise. The second answer was streaming. So if you perceive yourself selling merchandise, shouldn't your goal be to create the best promotional materials, i.e. the music videos, micro music videos, social media content and whatnot, to convert potential fans into fans for selling your biggest money maker, which is merchandise, digital or physical? Isn't that's the goal, right? Specifically with the music promotion that you all said you would spend your money on. And I'm asking you the question, why place a significant amount of money into streaming promotion? You go ahead and put it in the comments. I know y'all gonna throw some tomatoes at this video, but I wanna see. I wanna know what you're thinking. Now, how does paying for music promotion go wrong? This is the big question. Paying for music promotion goes wrong when your end goal is to increase streams. This means every dollar you put into music promotion must yield you 263 streams. And I'm talking about strictly music promotion, like on the platforms. Now, we know this doesn't happen. So let's say you pay $30 for a playlist, ad or being added to a playlist that yields you 1,000 streams, and you make $3.89, but you spent $30. This gives you an 87% loss on your money. Okay. Now you do this a few times and you'll say you got burned, but in actuality, you just didn't know what the cost of music was in the streaming markets. You see what I'm saying? Let's say you spend $30 a day for 30 days. That's $900. And this yields you 100 plays a day, which gives you 3,000 plays in a month. And this ultimately yields you about $12. But we spent $900 to get $12. That doesn't do us any justice. We lost a lot of money if we're running our ads or getting our song added to playlists just to increase the streams. Because the money, I told you all before, you don't get rich off royalties. And it doesn't matter if you're making $1 million off Spotify. When you open up your portfolio and see where the rest of your money is being made, you'll always find that you're making way more money on merchandise and live shows and other memberships and whatnot that you have for sale while you're entertaining your fans. Music is always at the bottom of the totem pole, yet it is the seed to everything that we do. So be very careful when you're paying for promoting the music alone. That's not what we're doing. We're here to promote your brand and to entertain the fans, okay? Let's focus. So how would you solve this issue? I will focus on using social media to display my promotional efforts in video form. Now, this will let the consumers know how interesting you are, and if you pique their interest enough and you're charismatic enough, you'll start to gain the fans that you need. Content is king. This is just in a nutshell what I've been saying. Entertain the fans. They're watching you on a media source, which is the phone, which is social media. It ain't nothing but your very own television channel on a network. Okay? Use it to entertain the people. If they're entertained, they will follow and they will constantly watch for more. It is what it is. It's like the people who do the comedy skits. And then they put out so many of them one time a day or whatever that you're just in there and you're just watching the next one and the next one and the next one. And then you get engulfed in the characters that they shoot with or all the ladies that they shoot with. And the next thing you know, if they got something for sale and you become a super fan of the show, you're going to support the show. It's the same thing that you would be doing via content. If I love you entertaining me with the music, I will eventually pay you for whatever it is you have because I'm a fan. You've entertained me enough. I really resonate with you. Here's some money even if I don't buy anything. Now, if you had less than 100,000 followers, how much would you spend? $10,000 would be my test budget. Cash only, no credit. Save up all at once or set aside money from each paycheck to keep the car going down the road to see if people catch on. Again, it's all about the value people get out of the quality content you put out. I know you're going to do a lot of this work or you've been doing a lot of this work yourself and you probably don't have the foundation set up. So all of my producers, my artists, my do-it-yourselfers, my new music execs, my singers and songwriters, you're going to need to build your record and your publishing company in a short amount of time if you want to keep up with your content game. So I got you covered to be able to do this in 60 days or less without searching all over the internet for the how-tos and the broken links and tidbits of information. All of this will be done on a strong company platform, an LLC that we will use to build for funding later. And then I'm going to show you how to play the game via contract so you're not out here getting lost in the sauce in these streets. And then lastly, you will be able to collect your international and domestic music publishing and record royalties without the middleman taking 15%. I say that's a good deal. All the stuff you see on the right-hand side is included. Click the link down below this video to get started today. I'll see you on the inside. But if this is your first time watching the channel, please grab the free stuff below. 10 major steps to increase your record label's profits. A free split sheet is included with the download. Now, when you focus on acquiring the fan, the plans that you make will be much more thorough than just building an audience to stream, and the music business will start to make much more sense, pun intended on that, to you. Lastly, your streams will follow a great promotional campaign that targets acquiring fans instead of streams, okay? But when you focus on acquiring streams, you will do a disservice to yourself and you more than likely will run out of money because your vision is short-sighted. Focus on streams, you lose. Focus on fans, you win. So start working to acquire the fan versus the streamer. All right, music money makers. So if you were struggling with where you're going to actually spend this money in your music promotional strategies, you now have a means to kind of place it in a position where you can actually get the fans that you're looking for and not just focus so much on streams. All right. So if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course right down below, book a call on musicmoneymakeover.com, download the free stuff below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.